All right, let's jump on in. Again, thank you everyone for joining us on today's webinar. We're so excited to walk you through some of our most recent releases in our spring product launch. So these features, what we're mostly chatting about, all went live last week. There's a couple of items that Chase and Erin will walk us through that are coming in the next few weeks. But again, just really want to make sure everyone's super comfortable with the new functionality, so you can take full advantage of the full Spiff platform. So jumping in, we are going to be recording this webinar and sending it to you within the next 2 days, so you can share with your teams. Everyone here is muted, but please, if you have a question, use the question and answer feature at the bottom of your screen. We'll be taking some questions as we go along and also answering some at the end, so keep those questions coming. And if you do have an account-specific question, and we probably won't take it here live, but please reach out to your CSM or someone from our team will be reaching out to you afterwards. And as a friendly reminder, we did launch our Spiff community about 2 months ago now. So in our follow-up email, we'll send you the link, but please join the community. There's a lot of great conversation going on there around best practices, how different folks and organizations are using Spiff. You can ask questions there. You can see our roadmap and weigh in on some of the functionality that we're working on for the rest of the year and beyond. So really encourage everyone to join the community, have a voice, and just connect with peers and Spiff folks. So without further ado, I'm so lucky to be joined again by the wonderful Chase Evans. If you've been on a webinar before, he is a familiar face. He's our principal product manager here at Spiff, super knowledgeable. So welcome, Chase. As well as Erin. So Erin is our client success team lead here at Spiff. She's amazing to work with. I know many of you on the phone have worked closely with Erin. So welcome, Erin. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you all.
All right, and hello everybody. Again, I'm Chase, product manager here at Spiff. Super excited to talk through some of the things that we have been working very hard on for the past couple of months. Truly been a team effort here. So I'm representing many people that have put a lot of effort into the things that we've released. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and kind of talk through the first major point here that we'd like to go through, which is custom dashboards for admins. So I'm going to go ahead and share what I have here. I'm going to demo this for you. The main reason why we built this for our customers is that we know that you are trying to report on behalf of a lot of different people. You know, your sales executives, your internal teams, yourself even, just to make sure things are working smoothly. We have provided or have now released this ability to create dashboards around reports. So if you come in here, you'll be able to click on dashboards and be dropped into this experience. Now, I'm able to create a new dashboard from this experience as well and name it anything that I'd like to. So I could call it Chase's dashboard. I'm going to call it AE dashboard just for fun here. And then I could start adding tiles. And what tiles are they are a coalition of reports that I've already created in the past. So I can search for a specific one. So I can search for total ARR, add that one, total commission amount, and I'll just add those to start. And then these are just previews. I'm in edit mode now. And so once you click save, you'll be able to see these cards appear in real time. And we're pulling the data from reports that have already been created previously. So if you'll see here, what I'm doing here is I'm graphing ARR, which is a field from my CRM by rep over time. And so I'm able to drill down and see how these are performing. I can also directly from the dashboard click into this report and get a more holistic view and see what this is looking like. I can also export this from here. I can also just quickly click back and go back to the dashboard I was just viewing and be able to see the other pieces that I have here. Not only do we do line charts here, but I can go in, this is a dashboard that I've pre-built. These are all the different types of report you can build. So you can build these bar charts, and this one I have total current periods commission by rep, and this is another one of those, or any one of these on this view. You can go in and view in more detail and or export from here. I can go in here and configure it. So for example, let's say I wanted to get just February. So, or yes. So let's say I wanted to get the last period, actually. So I'm going to get March. I hit apply, I hit run, then the amounts change, and that saved this report. What's really cool is that this happens in real time, to where now all of a sudden this report reflects the new filters and everything that I've just put on it. So it is super fast. It follows really quickly with all of the underlying reports that this dashboard is made up of. And I can do this with our custom report builder style as well. So any tables that I create from the custom report section of the app, I can also add to the dashboard to have quick access later and or surface the information I'm looking for. So you can see here, I've got different tables, I have bar charts, and I have those line charts that I created previously as well. So you get lots of options, lots of great flexibility here. And these are available to admins. And then we're slowly going to be working towards making these available and permissionable by reps and teams and plans. So if someone's assigned to a plan, that they will automatically have access to the dashboard that they've created, but also be able to anonymize data so that you're not sharing commission amounts or sensitive information with other team members, but that they would at least be able to see where they stack up, et cetera. So lots of great optionality here, lots of great function. I'm going to pause here for maybe one or two questions. Brita, do we have any questions that we want to go through really quickly?
We do. So thank you for submitting some questions. I see two here. Can you use custom summary insight reports as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So anytime you go into summary reports, which these are all graphical reports, you can use any one of these that you've created on the dashboard. So anything that you've created previously works there. You can also, in real time, just go create a report that you're looking for and then add it to a dashboard really quickly. So it's pretty seamless in the way that we built it, in that basically we're just, those dashboards are stitches together all of the reports you've created already, both custom and pre-canned.
Great. And a question here, will all dashboards be in one instance, or will each admin user be able to create their own dashboard without cluttering up the dashboards?
Oh yeah, great question. So they are instant shared across. And the benefit of that is that, say you have one analyst or one admin in there building things, that another analyst can pick up where that person was in their building. So the benefit of that is it's more or less like the Google Drive approach for your team. So you can go in and create those types of reports and those dashboards accordingly. We are going to add more functionality around organization and keeping track of who's able to see what. But if you're at the admin level, you'll always be able to see everything. So you always are aware of what's going on.
Great. I think that's it for now, Chase. Let's keep moving on.
Perfect. I'm going to kick it over to Erin to talk through some really awesome updates across the other portion of that we call Designer.
Perfect. Thanks, Chase. And I just want to say the updates you just went through are really exciting. I deal with admins and work closely with them every single day. And I know one of the biggest requests is getting more graphs and metrics organization towards the year-to-date metrics, such as commissions earned, attainment earned, and that's going to be a really exciting way to do that. So awesome to see that working in action. I have a ton of updates to talk about too on my end. We have a lot of designer new feature enhancements coming during this spring release cycle, and some have already become available to you. So I'm going to highlight some of the biggest ones. One of our biggest driving goals at Spiff is to really make commission expensing a lot more user-friendly. So you as admins feel a little bit more comfortable and confident when you're using our commission engine and being able to update plans more seamlessly yourself or add new plans in the future. So this is one of the first steps towards our new Rio Designer version that is getting released to really simplify that experience and make it a little bit more intuitive for those of you who have used spreadsheets before. And the impetus for this is really when you're used to using spreadsheets and organizing data, a lot of times you're working off of reports that start with information. And here, when you add a new data set inside of Designer, so I just went into Designer in an instance, and when you go to add a new data set, it started with a blank screen. So adding filters didn't always yield results, and you weren't able to see in real time what was actually being updated until you saved the data set. But with this new data first data set experience, when you navigate to data inside of Spiff, in Designer and click on the object you want to add a new data set for, you are going to start with data. You're going to start with all of the deal level information or the account level information or whichever object you are working off of. And then you're going to be able to narrow that down real time. So I want to demo how this actually works when you're in here. So let's say I'm going to make a data set filter to narrow down deals for all deals that have an ACV over 5,000. So how would I do that now with this updated view? It's the same method of adding the logic here or the custom filters. However, you're going to see the actual data change right in front of your eyes. So I'm going to add my first component here. I want to take this raw list of deals and just pull in the ones that are closed in the year so far. So I'm going to first add that filter. And it's already updating the data you see here. So when I add another filter, I'm going to just make that available by rep. So I'm only seeing the deals now for this specific rep on the screen. And you can see now that list is much smaller. It's filtered to all of Alan's close date and year deals. And then if I want to filter these again by over $5,000, I can just keep updating this logic. And without even having to click save, it's updating this in real time. I spelled that wrong. There we go. And this is a perfect example of how you can use our cues here to know something's not correct, because it will not change color until it's been accurately added. And that's actually a preview too towards the next component I'm going to cover in just a minute of how we're continuously enhancing the visual cues we have here to make this a little bit more simple to use as well. So now I have this much more updated data set filter that started with a whole set of information and narrowed down to the specific filters that you're applying. A couple other things to point out here. We have these new expandable and collapsible sidebar spaces over on the left and the right side. And you can change and hide the sidebars or open them by selecting or with your mouse, or you can use hotkeys. This is another really exciting update coming to Designer. You'll start to see a lot more hotkeys already in there. And I can just use my keyboard buttons to then also open up the different sidebars on each side of the screen. And the goal with expanding and collapsing these side panels is to really allow you to see as much as possible on one screen and to have no borders or wasted space within the platform. Another update to Designer that is now available is under payout rules. Go ahead and refresh the screen. And here we have what's called function assist. And this is another step towards really adding more ease of use to our formulas and commission calculations. We definitely want you to feel comfortable building within Spiff, and we want to make it as intuitive as possible for those of you used to spreadsheets. So I'm going to go on into a payout rule this time. I'm going to look at all of the rules in my plan and pretend I'm updating this one rule here. And I want to point out what makes it a little bit easier to update this now within Spiff. I'm going to go ahead and create a calculation. And I'm going to type out that calculation here. And so I'm looking at a specific plan for a person. And already before I even type anything, I just put my cursor here. And now I'm seeing all of Spiff's function library. It is going to make it much more intuitive to be able to find Spiff specific logic and syntax to find those helper functions we're creating. And if you want to get a full list of helper functions we have in Spiff, the Spiff University guide for helper functions, reminder to get to Spiff University, it's just this little cap icon. But that is going to have a whole list of all the special functions we've built to really make it easy to add elements into a commission calculation that you have here. You'll also see I can browse directly or use the hotkeys that I see at the bottom. I can use my arrows to navigate this as well, or I can just start typing and it's going to update in real time all of the different functions I can use. So I can use my cursor, I can use my arrows, and I can easily help populate this. So let's say I want to use this sum function. And I can just start typing, or I can hit tab, and you see that the list part of this is highlighted. If I click tab, it's going to add that for me. So I'm going to go ahead and add both elements I need in this function, and it's going to make it a lot easier to update this accordingly. So I want to do all of the deals closed in quarter. So I'm going to type out closed in quarter, and I want to sum them by their deal amount. So I'm going to type in the deal amount, and I can see that's a connector field. So I can click on it or hit tab. And another cool feature with this is if I accidentally have too many parentheses, this is a very simple calculation. We know sometimes there's a lot more lines here with a lot more parentheses and functions and if statements and things like that. But if you see, it now will highlight over the with a red indicator over a parenthesis that doesn't have a pair. We call this the parentheses pair detector. So another step towards really making, with visual cues, any issues or overly complex formulas to be cleaned up before you actually hit save. I don't know if you're like me, but when I'm building logic a lot, I will see this little checkbox grayed out because I can't figure out what else I need to update in the syntax here. So this is a nice way to give you that visual cue, and then you can click the checkbox to save it, and it should update all of the deals for you. Now, besides the helper functions, you also, under payout rules, just like you had with data, the ability to open, hide, or collapse the sidebars that you have on each side, same use of hotkeys. We also have currency updates within here, and we are continuously striving for the goal of no code, low code updating logic. We don't want you to have to do complex syntax. As much as possible, we want to simplify it for you and really just have features and options that you can plug right into your formulas to make things calculate a little bit more efficiently for you. So one of those big releases we have, this is honestly what I'm most excited about, because almost every client I work with has some form of currency conversion that they have to do. Now, as long as you have currency imported into Spiff or it's syncing from your data source, we are able to come to the right-hand side here, and on the sidebar, we're able to convert to currency in the formula without adding syntax or knowing the syntax to add directly in the formula itself. This is going to make it much easier to convert on plans. You would just want to toggle that on, set the destination currency you want to use, and then select when you want that date of currency to be triggered. So a lot of times you'll want to use the statement period start date. So for that period, it's the most updated date possible. But all you have to do is select those items, and it's going to automatically save and update the currencies accordingly once you have that set up. So that's the new no code currency update on the sidebar within Spiff. Another step towards easier, cleaner calculations with less having to rely on adding syntax into the formula. All right, that was a lot for Designer. We have even more updates coming, so check out University and the community, like Brita said, to see what's on the roadmap for the next big release in Designer as well.
Awesome. Erin, these are such great things, and I'm super, super excited. Again, the two of us who are representing so many people have put a lot of great effort into Spiff to make it what it is today, and we're so excited about these updates. I get the privilege of being able to show you a little bit more of another update that we've put out there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in here, and we're going to leave Designer for this next one. Oftentimes we've heard from customers. I remember I was on a customer call about a year ago, and we had customers that were asking, I love Spiff and I love the value that Spiff provides, but sometimes it's the little things that make it difficult to either add someone to a quota or to add someone to a plan, et cetera, and to do that in a unified experience. Because before, if I wanted to make sure that someone was added to a plan, and maybe you didn't want to use automation because we do have automation, maybe you came into plans onto a specific assignment, added a specific effective as update, et cetera. Then I had to go into quotas to do that. And then I would go into quotas to add someone to a specific quota and so on and so forth. So it was just a little bit of a disjointed experience previously. But now with this new update, we have this amazing ability to be able to update any assignments or any information for one specific user all within one place. So if I click on Adrienne Kelly here, directly from the users tab, I get this unified experience where I can see all of her team assignments, her plan assignments, and her quota assignments all in one view. And I can go in here and I can edit any one of these assignments, these values, these effective as updates directly from here. So if I wanted to specifically change the effective as of date to another date, I won't do that for this, but I can do that here. I can also add a team assignment to this where I'm selecting a specific team and I can type and say, maybe I want the BDR West team. Looks like she's already assigned to that one, but maybe she gets promoted and she goes to the AE North America team. Then I can go ahead and add her to that and then set effective dates and all of that here. And then when I click save, it will do that in real time and it will update that there. Just for the sake of my demo account here, I'm going to go ahead and click cancel and discard the changes. Some other pieces that we're adding is those micro interactions of like, hey, are you sure you want to discard your changes? We have that in some places in the app, but just want to make sure that, hey, this is what you're doing, just in case, to make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're about to do. But yeah, we still are able to change the user's information like we were before directly from this. So if the person's role needs to change to an admin, I can go and do that. If I need to change their name, email, currency, or preferred currency, I can do that. But this is truly where Spiff would like to be. We would like to have Spiff be the one-stop shop for you to be able to go in and manage all of your users, your commissions, and your reports for the SPM use case here. So we are super, super excited about this. We already have received feedback from customers that this has saved them a lot of time already. And so we anticipate that this will continue going forward and look forward to investing more in our user management experience going forward. So pause there. Brita, were there any questions that came through in the chat about user profile here or anything else that I might have mentioned?
We do have two questions, and you alluded to this, but can you speak to the functionality around bulk user management and what we can expect moving forward?
Absolutely. So we have a pretty amazing design team here at Spiff, and they are hard at work putting this together. We already have some devs working on it as well. So I would say stay tuned, but the desire is to have you be able to edit your team plan and user management basically all within one experience, and to have that be able to do that at scale effectively. So the short answer is I don't have anything specifically to show you today, but it is being worked on, and we're anticipating mid to late Q3 release for a really cohesive experience for that bulk user management.
Awesome. Thank you. I think we can move on to the next section.
Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to kick it back over to Erin to talk a little bit more about statements.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So the next feature we're going to talk about is something that we get a ton of feedback about in CS, statement downloads and the exports you see on a rep statement that reps can run, managers can run, and admins and finance users can run. So we constantly get asked about this, and really we get a lot of feedback around how the layout of data can be a little bit too much for reps, or sometimes it's a little confusing to them, or can be a little bit slow to run. So those are some of the problems we're hoping to solve with this first release with statement exports. And there's definitely down the line more feature releases and updates coming along with bulk exports, and other features with this as well. So what is actually changing with this export? In the next few weeks, this is going to go live. And if you have any questions about it, you can definitely reach out to your CSM. They can demo this for you, turn it on for you to play with in your instance. But I want to give you a visual of what it's going to look like and how it's different than what currently exists in the export area. So the file created is going to be a little bit cleaner. It's going to better mirror what you visually see on this plan. So it's going to better organize all of these metrics you see and all of the ways that your commission incentive components, we call them rules in Spiff, how all of those are broken down as well for the reps. So we want it to be a much closer experience to this visual view of their statement, so they always know what to expect in the export itself. So when I click to export, I have one already loaded to show you the differences. The first page is going to actually be a summary, and we currently have an overview page, a summary page as the first page, but it doesn't have all of this information on it. So the goal with this summary page is to essentially take all of the high level stuff you see here on your statement without yet diving deeper into each of the different commission components. So for example, at the top, it's going to say who's the statement for. It's going to have all of the overall details of the statement. So what statement period is it? What are the dates of that period? Is it frozen or unfrozen? When the last update of the statement happened, when it was last calculated. And then this is where you see the metrics. And it's really exciting to have those right there, right underneath the details of the statement. For example, if I was looking for this custom metric BDR rank and they're earning 3rd place in April, I can see that right down here, BDR rank. And that is what they're earning for that. And then you can also see all the different currencies and amounts that they're earning for those currencies on each of the metrics they have at the top. And then just like before, you can see all of the totals by rule. Right now, I can see for this statement period in April so far, all that this rep is earning is $400 towards the meetings set. And that is exactly what you see here, $400 towards meetings set. So that's the first tab. The next few tabs are going to be all of the different deals by rule tabs. So let's look at the first one. It's called meeting set commission by rule. That's this first rule essentially on your statement broken down a little bit more deeply. And when I open it up on the visual statement, I'm able to see certain custom metrics here, BDR quota, per meeting amount, top BDR. Now you can see those directly correspond on the tab for that rule in the export. You're able to see the total earned for that rule in that period. All of those metrics I just pointed out are going to show right there. So I can see the top BDR so far is Jimmy Dunn and per meetings 50, just like I saw on the statement here. And then I see all of the deals rolling up into that calculation. So summary is all of your rules, top level statement information, then all of the rules broken down. And then finally, at the end, if you have a lot of different rules, this will look very far off in the tabs, but you'll still have that deals by object list similar to what you currently have on statements. It's just going to be at the very end. So it's easy to miss if you have a lot of different incentive components or rules on your plans. So to recap, this is going to be available within the next couple weeks, but your CSM can already preview this for you and help go over it with you if you have any questions at all. So look out for that to come. And I really am excited about this next feature because a lot of people have been asking for the new documents capability that's coming. So I'm really excited to hand this part over to Chase again.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin, for teeing that up. Super excited about the statement export as well. Honestly, it's going to be a big improvement, and the performance also will improve as well. So the wait times of just getting that export is going to be great. Like Erin alluded to, documents, we've moved away from contract language to really more mirror what our customers are talking about is plan documents or plan documentation, right? So plan documentation historically has been a single signature or a single experience in order to do, and actually, Erin, I'm going to jump to a different demo here just for the sake of this, or my different demo instance. And while this is pulling up, I will just give you kind of a quick history here. So we built documents as a way to help customers manage those plan documentation. You could still use your existing DocuSign or HelloSign instance internally if you'd like to, but we do offer this as a supplemental feature to your internal process that you have right now. Historically, you were only able to add one signature. You could only do a few customization elements on the email once it was sent. But now we've added a lot more to this. So when you actually go into create a new document or a new template, you're able to click this new template button, still do the same functionality that you were before. So let's go, whoops, I guess this isn't my computer. I'm controlling Aaron's computer. So I'm just gonna pull up another document. But let's say you upload the document here. You're able to set a signing order for your signers, but now you can actually add multiple signers. So I can pick the rep, and the rep is required as a field. But then I can actually add additional individuals. So if I want Adrian Kelly or say Dean Fox here to be the signer on this rep, whoever signs this rep's documentation, I'm able to do that. And the good thing is I can add multiple required signers on here. So, and let's say I don't need necessarily someone as a signer. I can actually go into the bottom here and actually just pick somebody as a CC or for someone to receive it. Maybe I just want Chris Jensen, or maybe I want myself to receive a CC'd copy once it's completed. Then I can go ahead and do that. I can also edit the email subject for that. So when the rep receives the email or the notification saying, hey, the document has been sent, then I can know, okay, it's for this year 2022 or 2023 spine documentation or fiscal year, etc. So I can do that, and I can also change the message accordingly as well. So just for the sake of the example that I created previously, I'm going to go down to this one. So normally I'd click save, and then I would come to this page right here, what you're going to see. And this is so I'm in our embedded document management signer experience here. And there we go. So for the sake of the dramatizing a little bit, I already uploaded the document, but I did put two different signers. This is obviously not where you would put the signature, but just for the sake of demo, I just put it here at the top to see it easier. But if I look into this dropdown, I'm able to see that I myself am a required signer, that I'm the blue here. And then anybody that I send the document to, which I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment, will be in orange, and they will need to complete any fields. I am able to add additional fields for any specific person. So say I need their initials, I can just go ahead and add that, email, name, title, etc. But obviously I'd probably put these more towards the bottom, but for the sake of this example, you are able to add different fields that the person needs to fill out, or signatures that they are able to complete. So once I click continue, it should update that. For the sake of this example, I'm going to go ahead and click back. And then let's go ahead and send a document. And then you'll be able to select the people that you want to send this to. And the people that you're picking here are the rep in the signing order. So when you selected rep as a required step, these are the individuals that you're able to select. And you're able to go through and pick specific individuals from here. So when they get that sent to them, they'll be notified. Just same as always, they'll have that reminder cadence of a couple of days afterwards if they haven't completed it. They'll be able to see it. But as an admin, also, we have added the ability to see the status of where your signature requests are at. So for example, for this one, looks like Tanner already completed these documents, or completed all the required signers here. So I'm able to see, okay, Chase, the rep, signed it. And for my demo instance, it's probably the same person, just because I renamed a few users, but I can see that all the required signers were completed here. I'm also able to see, okay, looks like a different document that I sent Tanner is still out for signature. And this was sent, but it was not completed. So I can at least see it at a bare minimum that they were sent, but I can also see the progress right here that nobody has completed those yet. And I can see the status label here. I can also filter based off of, let's say I just want to check out the account executive plan or those that are assigned to the account executive plan, who has done that. I can also filter based on the team and only pull up those individuals. So lots of great additional functionality, a couple micro interactions here, but the overall value here is that you can really have a lot more flexibility with this new release around document management. Multiple signatures, CCing, keeping track of all of your customers' signatures, your rep signatures and the progress of those plan documents, and just much better align with the workflows that our customers are needing and experiencing. So very excited about this feature and these improvements, and we'll happy to take a couple of questions, Brita, if there are any in the chat.
Yeah, there are quite a few. So let me start at the top. On the documents, can a preview option be added so that we can preview before sending, so that we can check everything is populating correctly? Do we know if this is on the roadmap, Chase?
Yeah, that is on the roadmap. It's interesting because we partner with another company to do document management because our bread and butter, as you can imagine, is managing and maintaining commissions. But so we've partnered with another organization that's their bread and butter, that's their strategic focus, is doing document management. And so we are super excited to talk more with them about that. When you're using merge fields, which is something we didn't get a chance to talk about quite yet, makes it a little challenging because say you've got a lot of different fields for different users. It makes it interesting because obviously you're uploading a lot of data to make that happen, but it is on the roadmap and we're really excited to try to make that possible or make that available as soon as possible. So I think that's a great suggestion.
Next question here is, does someone have to be in Spiff for them to receive a copy from documents?
Great question. The answer is yes. So you do need to have a user created in Spiff. They don't need to be assigned to a planner or anything. They just need to have a login. So they need to be an active user with a login. If you're using SSO, all of that can be streamlined for the most part. They just need to be able to log in. And once they've logged in for the first time, then they're totally fine. So to get in here and start receiving documents.
Great. And we'll take one more question here before we pass it over to the last section. Is there a manager signer similar to rep so that all rep letters can be sent to the appropriate manager?
Yeah, great question. And that's something that we are working towards. Absolutely. Those custom style roles for sending documents is quite complex, but we're working towards it. With the advent of these multiple signatures, we've laid a really great foundation to get there and to add that additional role of clicking team lead in the drop down there and being able to have those automated. There are interesting factors that maybe I could meet with that customer that raise that question afterwards about, if let's say you have 2 team leads or, someone changed teams mid-period, et cetera, just to get the nuances there. But overall, I think that there are a lot of really great use cases to have that team lead style signer role available. So, and that's something that we definitely want to do. So it was a great question.
Great. Okay, let's pass it over to Erin to take us through the last section.
Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to share the few honorable mentions we have that we wanted to make sure we covered. It's still not the depth of everything that was released in this round of releases for spring, and there's still a lot more coming in the coming weeks. But these are a few extra things we just wanted to make sure we pointed out. So you saw that there are nice updates added into Spiff. The first is the system activity log. This is really an exciting release towards our goal of tracing all actions that impact financing in Spiff. We know that when it comes to audit time, you can have a little anxiety around that sometimes, and we want you to be able to get this information as fast as possible, really easily find historical information and changes. That way it kind of eases that burden and anxiety a little bit for you when you're audited. So this log is going to be located under admin inside of Spiff. So when you're logged in as an admin, you'll be able to see it in that drop down there. And you will be able to see all of the changes for designer in this first iteration. So any logged change is going to be visible by activity. So that's the module here. You're going to be able to see, use different filters and export this information. You're going to be able to view all of the different historical logs and their timestamps. You're also going to be able to see who made the updates when. Now, I just want to iterate also that the changes you see here are just for Designer, but this is the first foundational step towards auditing other Spiff functionality in future releases, such as potentially including the users, plans, quotas, and other places that you're constantly updating. But for right now, it's going to start with the Designer, and more is definitely to come with this one. Another update we have that we wanted to just briefly highlight for those of you who use commission expensing within Spiff, or even if you're just interested potentially in using our commission expensing tool, there have been some really nice updates with this round of releases for this, this product component. And if you don't have commission expensing yet, or you have any questions about this, definitely reach out to your CSM. They can talk about next steps if you're interested in getting it. But we want to highlight a few new updates. We know that this is a really important consideration for those finance admins who have to rely on the accrual accounting for ASC 606 or IFRS 15. And we want to definitely keep improving the usability of this so that it eases that stress and burden of expensing for your team. So one of the first updates that's happened this round is the ability to exclude zero values on the report. And I put a screenshot of when you're updating within Designer, the rules for the portfolio. There's that nice little checkbox to exclude zero values on it. And some businesses have deals that are tracked but not immediately capitalized on, and this is going to help you exclude those a little bit more easily within Designer. Now, the next part is custom capitalization and amortization timeframes. Some companies may amortize deals over long timeframes, so now you can ensure that all deals still amortizing are also included in your reports. And the final big thing to shout out in this round of releases for expensing is the portfolio inclusion and other assets section, which you can see in this screenshot right here. Admins will now be able to include one or more specific portfolios. So if you have a bunch of different portfolios, you may have an organization with operations that touch many different portfolios or business units or currencies. So this allows you to select which ones you want to include in the report and maybe include just those that are active at the current time. And then you're also going to be able to select a date range to include assets separately from the range that the report timeframe is from. And that's going to just ensure you're capturing everything that you are needing to be accurate for your audit. So those are a few of the commission expensing updates now, and a lot more is to come in the roadmap. The community has a great outline of the roadmap as well for that. And then the final thing we want to just shout out today is lots of new connectors available within Spiff. We definitely want to keep driving to have more and more integrations. We're willing to work on any integrations possible so that you can really just connect with ease to your different systems that you use and have that data automated in Spiff to relieve a lot of that burden of having to import different exceptions and things from different systems. So the admin connectors area, when you're logged into Spiff, is going to now have a lot more available there, including Microsoft Dynamics, Pipedrive, Sage Intacct, BigQuery, Workday, some of the ones you see on the screen. And the beauty of this is it's easy to connect without customizations needed. You're able to purchase the integration from Spiff, and then you can, as soon as you purchase that, connect and log in with your credentials. Once that's authenticated, the data is going to start syncing automatically into Spiff. So definitely loop in your CSM if you're interested in adding any additional connectors, and they can talk to you about next steps with those specific ones. And if you have any other feedback around connectors too, your CSM is always excited to share that with our integration team. All right, that was a fast look at some of our other updates, but before we get to the final Q&A where we'll answer the rest of your questions today, I wanted to do another nod to Spiff University, especially because all of the details we presented today plus more are located there in the release notes. We also have some really great admin certifications available. There's a great one on Reporting 101. So if you're interested in that release of custom dashboards that Chase mentioned earlier, you're going to be able to dive in and learn how to add those custom reports or custom summary reports to make that happen. So I want to shout out the Reporting 101 certification there, but also we try to add as much value as possible with University and give you as much content to help you feel more comfortable with using Spiff. So continuously check that out. We're updating it all the time, and we'll keep adding courses and certifications as they become available. All right, with that, we're going to segue into the Q&A.
Thank you. And thank you, Erin and Chase. There was a lot of information to dive into. And as Erin just mentioned, this is sort of choose your own adventure between CSMs, community, university. There's so many options to just keep learning about the Spiff platform. So we encourage you to check out those resources. All right, we're going to backtrack a little bit. We have a question here about dashboards. What reports can we add to a dashboard?
Yeah, great question. So the reports that we're able to add are the summary reports, so the graphical reports that you saw, both bar charts and line charts, and then the custom reports that you build, the tables or the table style reporting. You're able to add all three of those types of reports. So again, bar charts, line charts, and those tables that you're building, all to your dashboards. With more to come in the future, I will add, but that's the first place that we've started there.
Awesome. The next question here is around user profiles. Will reps be able to see their user profile?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So reps being able to see their profile is something that we're scoping out in the future, but not in the same way that the admin interacts with it. So all of the editing of teams and plans, none of that obviously will be available to reps. But we're basically going to make this experience as customizable for the admins to customize for the reps as possible. So if an admin does want them to see their team assignments or their quota assignments, that they'd be able to do that. But if they don't want them, that they can hide all that information and surface more relevant information with the user profile in the future. So it's basic level, not right now, but in the future, yes, in a customizable way with the way that you want to configure it.
Awesome. And one more question here, and I love this. This release is awesome. How often is Spiff releasing new features and enhancements?
Well, I was going to say, sorry, Erin, I might take this one, only because, as you can tell, I've mentioned this a few times already, but Erin and I get the privilege of representing all of Spiff, and we get to kind of showcase all of the cool things that we're putting together, because this is definitely a team effort here. Frankly, Spiff releases improvements every single day, whether it's seen or unseen. And so either it's performance, or maybe it is something small in the UI that someone surfaced to us or that we found out ourselves, but we are our own best constructive criticism or critique or best critic there. So we are definitely constantly trying to get better. It depends though, for bigger releases, sometimes it's, every other week or once a quarter. Here with the spring release, as you can see, we were really busy this quarter getting things together. And so there's just a lot coming, and we're continuously investing in Spiff to make the experience better for everybody. So I don't know if Erin wants to add anything to that, but that's my take on that question.
Yeah, thanks, Chase. I just want to add from the CSM perspective that we are constantly taking your feedback and working directly with our product team. They clearly really care and want to continuously enhance the product, and things that you even think are really small or really big, we're happy to share and advocate for as well. So continue sharing that feedback. That is exactly how our roadmap is built and sustained over time.
Awesome. Thank you both. Yes, the teams here have been extremely busy. And I've seen the roadmap, and they will continue to be busy. So thank you all for joining us today. Again, reach out to your CSM, jump into university or community to follow up on any of the items that we discussed today. And of course, log into the platform and start playing around for yourself. It's our goal to make this a very easy to use platform. As you can see, a lot of the enhancements are related to ease of use and self-management. So thank you all for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Bye.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Everyone.